what I have learned from a Democratic source is that Republicans in the state Senate might not be able to pass the budget with just Republican votes. And because of that, they have brought Democratic Minority Leader Dianne Hesselbein into negotiations on the state budget. So Dianne Hesselbein, as of yesterday, was joined the table as far as talking through the state budget. It's going to be interesting to see what that might lead to, if that changes the scope and nature of the budget in any capacity. But because of the smaller margins in the Wisconsin State Senate, the smaller majorities that Republicans have in the state Senate, they can only lose one vote if they want to pass the budget with Republican-only votes. And it looks like they do not have at least two of the 18 state Senate Republican state senators. So Minority Leader Dianne Hesselbein has been welcomed into the negotiations here because they might need Democratic votes to pass the budget.
As legendary CBS newsman Bob Shafer, I don't think any relation, is fond of saying, Dan Shafer, I think you just made a little bit of news.
A little bit of news, yeah. So I think that, we've heard throughout this process that Republican State Senator Steve Nass has been opposed to this budget and is probably not going to vote for it. Chris Kapenga, another Republican state senator, has expressed some frustration with the budget, said he might not vote for it. So if they lose those two votes, they might need Democratic votes to be able to pass a budget. And that could mean a whole lot of changes on a whole lot of different things. Everything is still very much in flux. But, we've been hearing for weeks that, Tony Evers has been negotiating with Robin Vos, with Devin LeMahieu, the Republican leadership in the Wisconsin state legislature. It's my understanding now that Dianne Hesselbein is now part of those negotiations as well.
This is big news, Dan Shafer. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing it with our audience and Civic Media Wide. I have not seen this reported anywhere else, so I'm going to call it exclusive breaking news here. This is big because you understand this. Help us walk through it as someone who used to work in the Capitol. I get it, but explain a little bit of the importance here of what this is kind of signaling, the fact that when you're in the majority, and not just a one-vote majority, to reach across the aisle and get the opposition party involved, this is not a small deal.
Not a small deal. And I do think it not only does it signify that Republicans, especially in the state Senate, are not all on the same page when it comes to this budget. I think it also signifies that there's going to have to be some sort of compromise for this to pass. And I think we knew that was the case, just the nature of divided government, right? We have a Democratic governor. We have a Republican-controlled legislature. In order to get a budget that they are going to pass, there has to be some compromises. And we've seen, kind of over the course of the last few weeks, but talks have broken down. They've come back together. And now I think the reality of what's going on in the state Senate is setting in here. And that means that they actually, for the first time in, more than 15 years, Republicans might need Democratic votes to pass a budget. And I think that could change the nature of this budget a great deal. Now, the other end of this is that it's, not a zero possibility either, is they go the other direction and try to make steeper cuts to win over some of those Republican state Senate holdouts. So I think it could go either direction, but I think the fact that Hesselbein has been brought to the table to discuss this is significant and, suggests that things are headed in a direction where there might be a little bit more of a bipartisan compromise.